with that being said, like you said, these young guys, they're coming out and they're showing improving. They're saying, "Hey, coach, look at me for next year. Hey, coach, I think I need a little more PT, some more playing time." You know what I mean? So even the other game the other night, Lawson hit the three to tie the game, and then um, against Orlando, and then at the buzzer, you know, what I mean, we got that nice, beautiful three there. So the guys are showing improving. We do have talent.
Welcome, Toronto Raptor fans from around the world, to another edition of the Raptors in Black and White. We've got Head Swag, we've got Slang, and we're here to talk about what has gone on this past week and what we can expect in the week to come for your Toronto Raptors. Now, these past few games have been crazy. Clearly, the Raptors have no intention of winning. I don't know if we're trying to see these young guys and develop them truthfully, or if we're clearly just trying to maintain that fifth worst, spot for the draft. But what do you think of the game yesterday? Last minute, possibly buzzer beater by Shed. Unfortunately, they're saying it didn't count. He didn't get the ball off in time.
Didn't get the ball off in time. The red light came on, and it was a fraction of a second late. They're saying it's unfortunate because, like I said, the ball was rolling with our guys, and it would have been nice to see our fourth win streak, but it's been cut short. Uh, um, with that being said, like you said, these young guys, they're coming out and they're showing improving. They're saying, "Hey, coach, look at me for next year. Hey, coach, I think I need a little more PT, some more playing time." You know what I mean? So even the other game the other night, Lawson hit the three to tie the game, and then um, against Orlando, and then at the buzzer, you know what I mean, we got that nice, beautiful three there. So the guys are showing improving. We do have talent.
Yeah, yeah, no. Well, yeah, from Walter you're talking about. That was crazy too. But that was the beginning of the tank. I swear, I think that you know, uh, just okay, yeah, let's jump into that game because they start with a reasonable lineup against Orlando. Um, that one ended 114, 113. But we had Scotty Barnes starting, Jakob Poeltl starting, RJ Barrett starting, Emmanuel quickly starting, and then they shoved Jacoby Walter in there to get the start, which, not bad. And then even our bench wasn't too crazy. We had, Mogbo, Orlando Robinson, but yeah, AJ Lawson getting lots of minutes in crunch time there. Roden getting lots of minutes. Like you could just see as the game sort of went on, we had a 13-point lead. They take Jakob Poeltl out, which seems sort of semi-legit because he's still on a minute restriction coming off of his injury.
Injury, that's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he departs, but then it was like they were like, "Oh, you guys aren't losing by enough. We got to take." Scotty Barnes suddenly comes out. Manuel quickly comes out. They left RJ in for a little bit, so it was like RJ, Orlando Robinson, AJ Lawson, Roden, and Shed. I think is who was in there, and then even RJ was getting points and distributing. I think he might have even passed one of the Lawson on a few clutch shots at the end of that game. It wasn't that crazy three. So actually, sorry, two questions. Um, do you think that they're so detailed when they're calling plays because you've got more experience behind the scenes with being coach? Lawson did like that little loop and then an extra loop to come around and get open, and if you saw that.
That's
Um,
right. Yeah. So what happens is the coach will set the play and say, "Hey, coming off of the second pick, I want you to loop around because he wants to make sure Lawson has that extra little fraction of a second to get that shot off." Right. So yeah, definitely plan was executed and it was played perfectly, like to the point.
So you're saying you think so you're saying that they're calling both of those circles. Like he's doing the little dimmy circle to distract or whatever, and then the wider one because I think they had a nice pick kind of set up, and then he
That's right. You got it. You
yeah.
got it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Totally.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. So then they're like, "Oh my God, RJ, we're plucking you out of the game," and they swap in Jacoby Walter for RJ. So then, like with almost 2 minutes left, the lineup is Jacoby Walter, Orlando Robinson, AJ Lawson, Jared Roden. and Jamal Shed. I'm sitting at home watching this game going, clearly we're not trying to win this game because it was not garbage time. Like we had the,
No,
yeah,
it
we
was
were
not.
winning. Yeah,
That's right. And it's coming down to crunch time. I said the same thing. I'm like, do they know something we don't know, or what's going on right now?
yeah, no, crazy, crazy. And then so then they come back because they go, oh my God, even when we try to lose, we can't lose. And yes, that was a crazy play. Kind of strange that that Jacoby Walter said that was his first ever buzzer beating game winner of his entire like
Career. Yep.
life. Even like he couldn't even pull out like a high school reference where he had a game winner.
Nope, he hasn't hit, and even in high school, he said ever first time at the buzzer beater. Yep, yep, yep. And what a good time to get it for him. You know what I mean? And like I said, stuff like that will actually spark a team because that kind of energy now is going to trickle up. Like I said, look at this now. The next game, Shed wanted to get his. You know what I mean? It's a psyche kind of thing. So stuff like this is what the Raptors need. And once these guys get more poised and they lock in fully, they're about 90% locked in. Once they get 100% locked in, look out. I'm telling you, the league, these guys could ball. They just need to click in. Trust me.
Yeah, well, I think it did carry over because actually, and that's a good segue to the next game was against the Jazz, right? Yeah, we played the Jazz,
That's right. Yeah.
and so moving us down the depth chart, I suppose, which we're going to get to because I think we should talk about some draft pick stuff in a second. But that lineup was Scotty Barnes starting. Orlando Robinson gets the start. They were like, we're not even going to pretend like Jakob Poeltl's going to play. They defended this one with it was the first of a back to back. So
That's right.
Jakob's going to sit and rest his injury. So Orlando Robinson gets to start there. Emmanuel quickly is still in because I do think they need to get him a little bit more and Scotty Barnes just kind of working together with the injury to quickly. They're going to have to come out, next season if we're going to try and make the playoffs, which I hope we are going to. They got to get those guys playing, and then AJ Lawson gets the start. I think they said that was his first career start.
Yep. Very, you got it.
And Jacoby Walter gets the start probably, I guess, because he earned it with that last shot. So, um, yeah, crazy. But then Emmanuel quickly suddenly blows up. I was actually watching. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I was watching. What's that guy? Bill Simmons, I think is his name. The former ESPN guy. He's got a pretty popular podcast, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they were drafting the worst contracts in the NBA, and they had three Raptors on their list, and I think they only went probably like 10. Well, maybe they went about 15, 20 contracts deep. They had Scotty Barnes on there as one of the worst contracts. They had Brandon Ingram as one of the worst contracts, and they had Emmanuel quickly. But then, literally, the day I'm watching this podcast, Emmanuel quickly comes out and ends up with 34 points.
Yeah. I know. Hey.
Yeah, hilarious. But then, so our guy in that game, coming off the bench, because again, in the last few minutes, they didn't have any of the starters out there. Jamison Battle was 3 of 5 from the floor. Sorry, 3 of 5 from three.
That's
And
right.
you're saying this guy, even with his little special, he had that face shield on.
Listen, we've been calling him all year. We've been saying battle loves to battle. That's his name, man. So he's living up to his hype. But I don't know. We're like I said, I think we're just holding back. So next season we come back with a little explosion. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens, and let's see if we can keep a healthy Ingram. That's another key factor there too.
Yeah, well, because I watched another couple of videos on Ingram where not a lot of other teams wanted him necessarily. So I'm hoping that we maybe found a diamond in the rough, and that the Toronto coaching staff and development staff, and our injury or whatever they're called, the medical staff.
And not only that, we hope that Ingram says, "Oh, you all didn't want me. Look what you could have had." You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Just like our stud before. You know what I mean? Like Leonard came and Leonard said, hold on, you guys wanted to send me to D League? Let me show you something. Can I have my ring, please?"
Yeah. Well, hey, if Brandon Ingram turns out to be half of Kawhi, we'll be laughing. Uh,
That's right.
Yeah, because that anyway. Again, not to. I was watching it. Actually, I think next time we got to do our top 10 of all,
Picks. Yeah.
because I am curious still. But I know we didn't set that up for today. But I was watching something else again about DeMar DeRozan and that the Raptors would have won had they not made that trade. I know Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if he was just trying to brown nose to DeMar DeRozan, but he was saying something like that the Raptors would have probably eventually won a chip, and if they'd kept DeRozan, then. I just sadly don't agree. I still have the memories of those that ridiculous LeBronto nonsense that would happen year after year, or like
I
even
know.
even guys. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no, I was saying I know what you mean. The 3 years of them just tanking. I know,
Yeah,
like
I mean, trying like we'd have an amazing regular season, and then we'd be bounced in whatever round we played Cleveland, and oh man, like again, of course, as I go to say his name, what the heck was his name? Who was our center that we traded away? Um, and he was on Minnesota now. I think he's on the Pelicans. Oh,
Valentina's
yeah,
oh
Valanciunas. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I have the memories of that game where Valanciunas and like I think DeRozan was standing there with someone else, and they're like 6, 7 attempts at trying to just get the little layup in, and like, oh my God. Anyway, my point is, I think it was good that we got Marcus All also, who got us that chip. So, anyway, sorry, yeah, really, really bouncing all over the place. Apologize, but
that's all right. We're talking ball.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because it's just been crazy. So, because all these memories are coming to me, stirring up because I'm sitting here fantasizing about what could be with the potential NBA draft. Because that's really what we should be thinking about as Raptor fans these days. We're
That's right.
tanking. Like on my other podcast, I predicted like a 6, 7 game winning streak, and then not knowing that they were going to basically have me going out there in some of the minutes and playing because just quickly yesterday's game, Colin Castleton had 26 minutes. I mean, why is that happening? This guy's not going to be breaking through on. Again, maybe they're showcasing him for some other team, but I can't see him making our roster. Roden's getting 29 minutes out there, and I think Roden looks like a proper physical specimen. He's got that same sort of build as Scotty Barnes, but
That's right.
like, what do you think of Roden? Do you think he could ever crack our lineup? Like, I don't know what they're doing with some of these guys they're putting out
A diamond in the rough once again. They are professionals, but I know what you mean. Is he poised to come out every night and be what we want? Consistent. We need consistent players, and you know what I mean. Some of our players look like we're in the development league, and that's not what we want. We want guys that are coming out. We need soldiers. You know what I mean? And we got a couple of pieces. We just need a couple more pieces. So do you think Roden is it?
there.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, no, it feels like we're watching like Raptors 905 games or
That's right.
but again, it's okay. We're watching these games maybe so you guys out there, if you're too busy, you don't have to. You can just tune into Raptors in black and white once a week and catch up on what's going on. But yeah, I think going so quickly, actually, let me just recap who I personally think our lineup is and criticize me if you don't agree. But I'm trying to get to a point of where I think we should draft. Although, funny enough, the guy who I'm going to say that I think we should draft on ESPN. They have him at number 7, but I did look at some other draft rankings, and like CBS had him 15th. This guy, but anyway, I'll get to my point in 2 seconds. So
Drum
I
roll, please.
sorry, yeah,
I
I
said
no,
drum
I
roll, please.
I think that next year our starting lineup should be Jakob Poeltl at center, Brandon Ingram at power forward. I got Scotty Barnes as the sort of small forward, but we know he's kind of a point forward anyway. RJ Barrett, because I think he deserves it, unless stupidly we trade him. There's a bunch of rumors that we're trying to trade him. I don't understand why we're doing that. Guys from Toronto, he's clearly putting extra effort into these games. And then I got Emmanuel Cookie as our point guard. So then on the next, our backup, the rotation guys I've got are, and again, I don't know what Boucher, why he's missing in action, but I think it is that we're just trying to win. I mean, sorry, we're trying to lose, not trying to win. And so they're benching him. But with him not getting traded, I think we got to sign him. And earlier in January, when we were winning, when it seemed like we were maybe trying to win, he was coming off the bench and giving us great, minutes.
Great
Uh,
minutes. That's right.
so yeah, so I have right now I have Mogbo at center, Boucher at power forward. Then this is where I get a little log jammed, and maybe I loved your idea that we're going to take some of these guys and maybe trade them for someone. But then again, I don't know what position we're going to trade for. But if we could get an upgrade, that'd be great. I got Jacoby Walter, who seems to be developing. I wasn't a huge Jacoby Walter fan, um, but he's growing on me.
I wasn't either, but I won't lie. He's growing, and once again you could see the growth, right? You see that he's uptrending. You know what I mean? Definitely,
Yeah,
if he was a stock, I would buy in.
he seems to be able to make shots. He seems to be able to like when he's in a catch and shoot kind of situation, but he seems to also be able to create and get a shot. Like I've seen him drive to the rim and do all that kind of stuff to be able to
That's
get to
right.
the basket. And yeah, it's sort of impressive. I mean, obviously high expectations. The guy's named after Jordan and Kobe, supposedly. Although still, I think I commented on here. I don't know why he's not Joe Kobe. Like Jordan is J-O, not J-A. But anyway, whatever. That's semantics. Uh, it seems to be J.A. Kobe. Like, I don't understand, but whatever.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, then we got Agbaji though in that position too. So and Battle. So I don't like who wins. I think eventually Battle should be there because we need shooting, we need spacing, we need 3 point.
yeah, yeah. And
But
and and I got to bring up every single time we need consistency and Battle. His numbers are showing that he's getting, I think, the least amount of minutes. But when he goes out, like you said, he's getting 3 of 5,
yeah,
4 of 5. He's either, you know what I mean, 2 of 3 at least. He's doing at least 60% and behind the line for a big guy.
60%. In the G League, they said he is over 50% on threes, like for
Right.
the season. Like, so it's not a fluke. Yeah, so I agree. Because then I've got Dick as our shooting guard on the backup, and then it seems like they want Jamal Shed as our backup point guard. So my point is, I think the weakest place for us is our backup center. So in the draft, obviously barring not getting Cooper Flag, because if we have a chance to be number one, we're grabbing Cooper Flag because we can figure it out, even though we probably have a position, overlap with whatever he seems to be as a small forward, point forward, or power forward. I mean,
Power
small
forward,
forward.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, fine, we can move Ingram or trade Ingram or do something to figure out how to
Do
get
something,
back.
or like I said, if we could keep a guy and cut a guy's minutes like Pirtle, you know what I mean? I said Pirtle plays a lot of minutes. If, like you said, if we could get a backup center now where we could cut into his minutes, yeah, I think we're gonna get better production. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so yeah, you're right. If we got a Cooper Flag, then maybe you're right. We don't need to have a backup center because we have Pirtle sort of just playing when needed and when their big is in or whatever. Um, Secondly, like so they've I'm looking at the ESPN draft rankings. They've got Dylan Harper as number two, which again seems like a nice player. I know we tried with his brother, but he's a shooting guard, point guard. I don't know. Maybe like, do you think we grab someone like him and then we just keep Shed as our third in case someone gets injured? It seems like they want to develop Shed and have him be like our Fred VanVleet of the future. I don't know. Uh,
I know. So, but anybody's good for the pickings, man. At that point, he's looking good, and like you're saying, are they showcasing him because they, you know what I mean, sending him out west? I'm not sure, but he is developing. Another one is Jacoby, you know what I mean. So they have some guys in the pickings there, you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't know if we pick a Dylan Harper because obviously it's risky. He's not as much of a sure thing as it seems Cooper Flag is. Ace Bailey's similar. They're saying he's got to work on his handle and he's got some other development stuff that he needs. And then they've got this VJ Edgecomb from Baylor, Tyree Johnson. Anyway, I'm jumping all the way down to number 7 in the ESPN rankings. And this guy, I hope I pronounced his name right. Kaman, it's like Khaman, Kaman Maluk. He's a 7'2" center from Duke.
Okay,
That's who I'm saying we should be grabbing.
that's who you think we should be grabbing.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and I agree. And that's been Toronto's problem. We every time we need, because the West, they're big. The West always has big guys, and the West has big guys that are mobile, and that's been Toronto's problem. We need big guys to come to the, but being that we're in the North, it's hard to draw these big guys.
yeah. Well, and this guy's 7'2". I mean, so they say you can't teach height. I
You
think
can't teach height, not at all. Just stand there, put up, and be a tree. That's all we need.
yeah, and he's a defensive-minded guy, and they're saying he's got amazing effort and everything. But like I said, sadly, I was checking out another. Actually, I wonder if we can do a share screen on here. Let's see if I can make this work. Oh no, you can't see anything, can you? Whoa, can you see this?
I see it, but it went small on me.
Huh. I was on here this morning. This is the Tankathon simulator for the draft. And I will say, actually, when I first did it, the first one, Toronto came out as number one overall pick. And see, we're gonna end up like fourth. Oh my God, sixth. That's why I kind of like this idea too, because this guy they got him at seven. So if we fall back a couple spots like we have just in these last two here, we end up sixth, third. Anyway, fun thing to do. Check out tankathon.com. You can oh look at there we are right there. Only after the did I how many times did I do that? Five or six?
Yeah.
Number one. So we do still have a shot to get Cooper flag, but um anyway. So yeah, that's so you're not totally disagreeing with me. You're not saying I'm completely
No, no, I totally agree. We need height. We need height. We need a big man. We always get guards. We always getting small forwards. We need height. We definitely need some height in there, man.
yeah, because
Like Bowen, I like the kid, but you know what I mean. We need Pirtle needs a good backup. You know what I mean?
and this
Give him some
guy,
rest so that he could come out in the fourth quarter more explosive. You know what I mean? Because he's a good assist guy, good rebound guy, good second chance rebounder guy.
yes, well, and I like I like Jakob's sort of age because Jakob is what like 27, I think, or is it
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
27?
27.
Scotty Barnes, he can be the vet, but then we could keep Jakob, and then if we draft this guy, he could eventually maybe surpass as our number one. So you know what I mean? Suddenly, Pirtle comes off the bench when he's 31 or 33. I don't know. But maybe I fantasize too often. It makes me crazy with all this stuff in the news. Like Norm Powell is back here saying, I think he was on the Young Man and the Three, JJ Redick's old podcast that he left and left to his assistant guy. Anyway, he's on there saying he wished that Toronto never traded him and they thought that they were going to be able to build something. And now he's playing all-star level, so maybe we shouldn't have traded him because we don't even have.
Traded him, I know. But all of our guys, I'm telling you, if you see the history of what we trade, 80% or 85% of the guys have gone to go get a ring or became an MVP or they're a high caliber player. With Toronto, it's like I said, it's like we're like the camp for these guys to become studs. And I mean, for over 20 years at least.
Sure. But what I don't get, the frustrating part is Toronto, they always sort of play the card that, people don't want to come here. People don't want to be here. People are, it's the only Canadian team, and these people are mostly Americans growing up in the States, which, clearly they don't really understand Canada, even though.
We have two things lacking. We're not really a party town, and we don't got heat. And the boys love party and they love heat. So
Well, I think that some of them like partying in certain venues around Toronto that are different than the US, but we can't.
different. Oh yeah, and Toronto has grown. So now things have changed. I know those guys. They're not too bad with Toronto now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You hear Norm Powell saying he wished he never got traded. You hear Pascal Siakam saying he thought he was going to be a Raptor for life. Like these aren't slouch players. You know what I mean? It's not like we've got
That's right.
a fifth guy on the bench saying that they wish they could stay in Toronto forever. So anyway, I don't know. It's annoying. So I think of more long term. Like man, some of these guys we could keep as Raptors and have them retire as Raptors and whatever. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the way the game is, you got to constantly churn over talent. I don't know. Okay, so then quickly looking ahead here, we are playing Washington tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah.
I would have said that's a win, but like I said, if they're gonna call you and I up and see if you could play, small forward and if I'm
Well,
available.
I'll give them a good 5 minutes, no problem, man.
Hey, I could give them longer, but yeah, the production is going to drop off rapidly. Um, so then we've got the 76ers, who, again, I hope we could beat. I hate the Sixers. It makes me laugh my butt off that the process has turned into such a disaster. And you got Nick Nurse over there, like, Mr. Supposedly good coach, which, again, I think I could have coached the 2019 Raptors to a victory with that lineup that we had. So I don't give Nurse tons of props. And I think that the seasons afterwards, where we should have done better, were partially him to blame. So anyway, it makes me laugh because I'm not a Joel Embiid.
Partially him and then partially management because they knew that they got rid of a stud and they needed one and they didn't get a replacement. You know what I mean? You can't get rid of Kawhi and then expect everything to still be the same. You know what I mean? They needed to bring that kind of a caliber player in or get deuces, get two guys where like I said, when one comes off of the bench. So what I'm trying to say is you got to be hot like a microwave. You can't be going cold hot, cold hot. That's what brings in this inconsistency. If you're staying hot, stay hot like a potato.
True, true. Okay. Yeah, no, no, I don't totally dispute that. I'm just saying I think we could anyway. Uh our team was still pretty deep that year after Kawhi left. Yeah, we lost Danny
Oh, that's true. It was.
still had Serge. We still had Marcus Hall. Even we still anyway. Um, and then yeah, so then we got Philadelphia. So and then Utah, and then Portland. I mean, oh my God, our schedule is so ridiculously easy. It's just it's embarrassing. But again, I can't predict anything. I don't know. I hope that it's loss, 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 loss. Actually, if we're trying to maintain our draft position, what do you think we end up doing this week against these teams?
These teams, well, like I said, I know he's playing, he's getting deeper into the bench with the guys, but these guys, the younger guys, are showing improving against these guys. So I'm not sure. And once again, our games are being within 3 points, 2 points decision making. You know what I mean? So it's right down to the wire. It's like, why wouldn't you want to watch our after game?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, exciting finishes, and I mean, it is kind of fun to push around these teams. Like I was watching yesterday, and it seemed like anytime we wanted to, we could get the lead back. Like they would kind of, we'd be out at like a 7, 8 point lead. I mean, sorry, the first quarter was tough for. I think, in fact, they were ahead. No, we were up by 6 after the quarter. Yeah, sorry, it was at half that they were up by 2, but it seemed like when it got close, we could pull away, and then all of a sudden in the third and fourth quarter, they just pulled all. Scotty was out there a little bit with some of the guys, but Emmanuel quickly didn't even play at all. RJ started to sit, and
That's right. Yeah.
the rest of our guys weren't out there. So I don't know. Predicting games is impossible. So I guess I'll just keep my fingers crossed that we.
But at least we can say for the last 2 weeks we're on point. You did say we were gonna go, I think 3-1, and I think you did hit it again. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
for the guys that are gambling the last 2 weeks, if they listened to you, they would be in the money.
You're right. Actually, yeah, because we had 1 and 3 and then 3 and 1, and we got both of those. Although my order of the three was off slightly,
Was off. That's right. Yeah,
on the victories because we ended up beating Orlando twice, which we weren't expecting. We thought they were going to take us in that one, the second of the back to back, I think.
that's right.
Okay, well, I don't know if we got to call it. I'm going to say we lose to Washington, we lose to Philly, we beat Utah, and we lose to Portland. That's what I'm going with.
That's what you're going with. Well, I think we're gonna take the Washington, and then we'll take Pierre Els from there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Philadelphia is one that they could lose that they won't feel bad, even though we should beat Philly. We're not going to have our starting lineup out there. And anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment. We got a couple comments actually on our last video.
Well,
And
and thank you for the comments, people. One is better than none. We'll take it.
yeah, exactly. And I think we even got an extra subscriber, but seriously, we got to get to like 100 subscribers. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your parents. If you got kids, sneak in on their YouTube account and just click subscribe. We're not on here saying anything bad. We're not going to scar them or do any kind of long-term damage if they happen to watch one of our videos. They'll just be a little more.
When you get the notification, just look at your buddy and say, "Hey, buddy, let's subscribe this one for me." Simple, simple. Takes 2 seconds of your time.
It costs nothing, also. So yeah, and we appreciate it. Anyways, thanks for watching. I guess we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
We out.